My girlfriend had an affair with her boss, but now she wants us to stay together. She cheated on me, but she's saying she wants to work through our issues and keep our relationship going. I'm feeling really hurt and confused about what to do. I'm 28, and my girlfriend is 26. We've been together for 3 years and lived together for almost that whole time. A couple of months ago, she got a job offer that would mean we'd have to move away from my job and my brother. At first, I didn't want her to take the job, but she thought it would be great for her career. So I eventually agreed to move with her, even though it wasn't what I wanted. After she told her current job she was quitting, she came to me and said she was having doubts about our relationship. She said I hadn't been supportive enough and that she felt unhappy. She also said I didn't make her feel special anymore. This really shook me up because I always thought we'd spend the rest of our lives together. The thought of losing her over something that seemed so small made me realize I needed to do something to fix things. I wanted to show her how much I cared, so I booked a fancy hotel room for us and planned a special night out. She said we could take things one day at a time, so I did everything I could to make her feel loved again. I woke up early to make her breakfast, sent her sweet texts, and did all the little things I could think of to make her feel special and loved. I heard her laughing on the phone with her boss, and it didn't feel right. I had always been a bit uncomfortable with how friendly she was with him, especially since they would socialize outside of work with other colleagues. That night, while she was asleep, I decided to check her phone not because I thought I'd find anything, but just to put my mind at ease. But what I found on her phone shocked me. The text between her and her boss were really flirtatious. I woke her up and asked her about it. She admitted that he had told her he liked her, and she might feel the same way. She said he had kissed her once when she said she was leaving the company, but nothing else had happened since then. She also told me that he had been trying to convince her to break up with me. We talked all night, and I told her I could move forward if she promised to focus on our relationship and cut ties with him completely. The next day was her last day at the old job, and she said she had talked to him and blocked his number. The next 6 weeks were really tough for me, but slowly I started to feel better. However, there were some things in her story that didn't add up, and they kept bothering me. I wanted to move forward, get engaged, and start fresh, but I needed to know the whole truth. So I decided to reach out to her boss. He told me that they had kissed 3 times, not just once like she said. And the last time they kissed was on her last day of work, after I found out about their affair and she promised to work on our relationship. He also said they had talked a bit the week after she claimed she had blocked him and promised me she wouldn't lie to me again. Now I'm completely stuck. I asked her to leave our apartment and said we couldn't live together anymore. But she keeps saying she'll do anything to fix our relationship. I told her I need 2 weeks before we can even talk again, but honestly, I don't know if I can ever get past this. It feels like she chose him over me, like I was her second choice. That thought hurts me so much. I keep wondering what would have happened if I never discovered the truth. Now, I'm torn between moving on and trying to fix our relationship. I still love her, and we've shared so many memories, family vacations, and I was even planning to propose soon. But now, I'm so confused and feel like I'm all alone. I wonder if all women are like this, or if I just got unlucky. Can trust even be rebuilt after something like this?
Story 2.
Was I wrong to throw away a gift from my dad's wife before I moved out of their house? I'm 18 and moved out of my dad's house last month on my birthday. I don't live in that town anymore. Instead, I'm living with 3 friends who are starting college soon, and I'm about to start trade school. I'm working to pay for rent and food until school starts. The 4 of us are sharing the costs. I didn't take any money from my dad when I left. On the day I left, my dad's wife gave me a photo album. She said it was a gift to remember my childhood. The album had pictures from the past 7 years, since she and my dad got married. I didn't want the gift and told her so. She still wanted me to take it, saying I should have some family photos when I moved out. But I didn't want it, so I threw it away before I threw away the gift. Here's what happened in the past. When I was 10, my mom died from an allergic reaction. We were out celebrating my dad's special day when it happened. She died on the way to the hospital. My mom was the one who kept our family together. My dad and I were never very close, but after she died, things got worse. Just 6 weeks later, my dad met his new wife. They packed up all my mom's belongings, her clothes, jewelry, photos, phone, keys, everything, and threw them away. I was so angry and hurt. I never got to keep anything of my mom's, and neither did her family. I'll never forgive my dad for doing that. The next day, he moved his new wife into our house. They got married 4 months later, and I had to go to the wedding. They pretended everything was fine, but it wasn't. His wife even gave a speech about how excited she was to have a son like me and all the fun things we'd do together. It felt so fake. When I was 12, I got some photos of my mom from our extended family and put them in my room, but my dad's wife found them and took them down, saying I didn't need them and they would make everyone sad. I got really upset and yelled at her, said some bad words, and even wished she was dead. My dad got mad at me for being disrespectful to his wife. In the heat of the moment, I told him I wished he had died instead of my mom. He said he wished he had let my grandparents take care of me after the big fight we had about getting rid of my mom's things. I told him I wished that too. The past 7 years living with my dad and his wife were a nightmare. I'm so relieved to be out of there. I have no respect for either of them, and I don't care that my dad lost my mom too. He didn't just lose her, he threw away everything that reminded him of her. Me, he got rid of all her things and tried to erase her memory. That's why I don't feel sorry for him. After I moved into my new apartment, my dad suddenly remembered my phone number and called me out for throwing away his wife's gift. He said I was being disrespectful and hurtful to her, and that she made the album out of love. I ignored him. Then his wife sent me a text from his phone, saying I should be surrounded by happy family memories, which is why she made the album. I replied with a photo of my room, showing all the pictures of my mom that I've collected. That's all I said. But then I got more texts, even from a blocked number, saying I was being spiteful. So, was I in the wrong for throwing away the gift and responding like that?
Story 3.
I'm wondering if I'm wrong for wanting my mom to leave the country. Here's what happened. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm 13 years old and new to Reddit. My cousin Mira told me to share my story here. Please excuse my grammar mistakes. I've been working hard with my dad at his mechanic store since I was in secondary school. I grew up with my 2 brothers, Carlos and Marcus, in Tepoztlan, which is my hometown. This year, my dad and I moved to America. One thing I've noticed is that the food tastes different here. Back in Tepoztlan, we had a street with tourists where my mom would often talk about America and say it was better. My mom has always had problems with her nose and drugs. My dad would often yell at her, and my brother Carlos would run away. But Carlos is a good big brother to me. One day, my mom told us she had enough money to go to America. She said life would be better there. But my dad and I didn't have enough money, so we stayed behind. My mom went to America for a year. She sent us postcards from all the places she visited. When she came back to Tepoztlan, my dad was really angry. He was different too. He told me, since you started working, remember to never treat a woman differently, Brian. Never treat a woman differently. That was his favorite thing to say. But my dad was different. He started beating my mom. I told him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. Carlos was gone, so I had to protect my mom myself. I told her to go back to America if that's where she'd be happy. She kissed my forehead, hugged me, and left. I love her. I never got any more postcards from her, but I'm okay now. I'm even enjoying America. I still haven't gone back to school yet, but I want to go to college. My brothers Carlos and Marcus are mad at me for telling mom to leave. Thanks, Mira, for helping me write this in English.